All right, in this video, you are going to see how to build a customer journey and empathy map for your ideal customer persona. And in order to do this, you're just going to copy everything that you created in the M1 project, all the details about your ideal customer persona. You're going to copy all of those and put them into a Word document, either a Microsoft Word or a Google Doc. And what you want to do is just copy everything out of that system and put it into a Word document. Because what we're going to do is we're going to use all this information in order to create an empathy map. And what your empathy map is it is a idea of what your ideal customer is experiencing. You're going to understand what it's like to be in their world, and you're going to get a better sense of some of the motivation behind their decisions. So what we want to do is we want to copy this, and you're going to use a custom GPT. This is a tool that I created that helps you to get a better sense of your ideal customer persona and understand them on a more personal level. This is going to be critical for creating your customer journey. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy everything from the from the ICP that you created in your Word doc. You're basically just copying everything from M1 project. We're going to say create an empathy map based on the information below. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste this all in. And what this is going to do now is it's going to take all that information and it's going to create the empathy map based on what we've programmed it to do. And so what this is going to give you is the background on who they are, their work environment, their challenges and frustrations, motivation, their environment. So you kind of know like where they are on a daily basis, what they're going through, what they are using for tools. This is really big, their fears and concerns. We really want to understand the emotions behind them and what they're trying to achieve. Remember, we want to be aspirational. We want to be a solution that helps them to get what they are trying to accomplish. And the way that we do this is recognizing what their fears and their concerns are. And you notice here, they're worried about losing relevance, about falling behind their peers, and being perceived as outdated. And so what we have to do is we have to help with this, but also address the fact that they're concerned about some of these different factors. And so what we'll do now is we'll take all of this, and you notice it does it pretty quickly here. Gives us frustration, pain. And so what I'll do, so I'm going to copy this now, and I'm going to go back into a new document, open up a new document here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into ChatGPT now, do a new chat, and I'm going to paste that in, take out this part. You don't want to include this. Like, what would you include? And then go back up to the top, and I'm going to give you the I'm going to give you the prompt. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to create a 21-step campaign that helps the client go through the journey, through the phases of awareness, interest, consideration, desire, purchase. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this in here. All right. And so now what's going to happen is we're going to get a 21-step campaign that's going to hit each of these different phases, right? Our awareness, our interest, consideration, desire, and purchase. And what it's going to do is it's going to help us with the assets that we need for each of the phases. So what you'll see here is step one is awareness. And it's telling us, hey, Michael doesn't know who you are. He doesn't realize that you have the solution to his pain. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have the asset of creating the LinkedIn post. You're also going to need a blog post, and you're going to want a PDF guide you'll also want to create some YouTube shorts and then a podcast sponsorship or a guest appearance. So these are the assets that would help you to get in front of your ideal customer. Now, you can take each of these and we can create these assets. That's homework that you can do on your own, or you can delegate it to somebody else, but you have a list of the assets that you need in the awareness phase. So you see that there. And then you move into the interest phase. And so now here are the assets for the interest phase. We have the case study, we have an email nurture sequence, we have the webinar live event, we have the consideration. So, the calculator, this is a good one, ROI calculator, another email sequence, video testimonials, and then you move into in a white paper. And then you move into the desire phase, right? So before they even try you out, they've already had 15 interactions with your brand, presumably. But then you go through this again, and then you can see how this goes. And so now it gives you a summary of where you are with all this. And what we can do is we could then take this and build a 30-day campaign so that you can implement this. So yes, please create. So I'm not going to do that right now. What I'm going to do though, is I'm actually going to take this because I want to show you now how to go and create these assets. So these are pretty easy. You could just tell it, hey, create each of these assets. You should definitely copy this and put it into a second Word document and just title it 21 touch user journey. So I'll just go in here. I'm going to do file, new document. I'm going to call it 21 touch user journey, ICP. And I'm going to call this, I know who this is. So this is my independent advisor, right? And so I'm just going to paste this in just so that I have it for reference or whatever, right? But now what I can do is I can go back into GPT and I can basically say, create the interest email campaign reference above. And so now what it's going to do is it's going to give me the 3-part interest email campaign for this. And so basically what I would do now is I would take this, I'm going to go and create a new document while this is being built out. What I'll do is, hold on, create another new document. Boom. And this is going to be called the interest 3-step email campaign, ICP, independent advisor. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to copy this. And then what I'll do is I'll paste it into this document. Boom. And then what I can do is I can share this, right? So copy this link. And now when I go back into this part here, now I push this like that. Boom. And so now I've got this asset created, right? And obviously you're going to go in and modify it, adjust it a little bit so it sounds like you, but this is how we get this done relatively quickly, is just creating this is basically your marketing plan for your user journey. And we can create the first draft of the assets that you'll need in order to deploy for this ideal customer persona. So hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions and we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care.